Hi there, you're watching Time Warner Cable's local edition. This is a Sacramento report. I'm Jaime Garza, joined today by Assemblymember Paul Fong. Always good to have you here, Paul.
Thank you for having me.
We're talking about saving money these days. We have budget cuts we have to look at the Capitol and trying to get things back in order here. And you found one way that we could save some money, and it seems to be fairly straightforward and simple.
Yes, it is. It's moving the presidential primary from February to consolidate it with our state primary in June. And by eliminating the standalone presidential primary in February, we would save nearly $100 million.
Any kind of backlash you might get by trying to push this forward? I mean, is there something maybe in our Constitution or in the laws that say can't do this?
No, there isn't anything. And there's no opposition to this bill either.
So why didn't anybody think about this sooner?
Well, I'm the chair of the Elections and Redistricting Committee, so I figure I thought I'd introduce it. It's a common sense measure, and it'll save us $100 million.
How soon before you could get some kind of approval to move this forward?
It's already been passed the Elections and Redistricting Committee yesterday with a unanimous 7-0 vote, and it's going to go before the appropriations. No, I think it bypasses appropriations, go straight to the floor. And the floor vote will
so what, in the next maybe
next month,
3 or 4 years, it could be implemented if it's approved?
It'll be implemented next year,
and
the 2012.
How much money?
$100 million, yes.
That's baffling. I mean, maybe $100 million in the big picture is a small chunk, but at least it's something.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of money, and when every penny counts right now.
Right, and let's talk about voters a little bit here, because I know that you've been pushing some legislation dealing with new citizens and their ability to vote. Tell me about that a little more.
Well, when you become a new citizen 7 days before the election, during an election cycle, you don't get a chance to register and vote. This bill will allow you to register and vote up to the election date and to the time when the polls close for new citizens.
Is it only new citizens?
It's only new citizens.
Does that cause some paper problems? I mean, don't we have like a deadline where you need to register to vote by a certain day?
Yes, but they can give this exception to this group of people because it was no fault of their own. Right. They became a new citizen 7 days before the election date, and of course they don't have a chance to register because it bypasses that date. This bill will give them a chance to register and vote up to the date, the time the polls close.
You sound passionate about this. Why? Why is this so dear to get these new citizens the ability to vote so quickly?
Well, I was a naturalized citizen too when I was 12 years old, 11 years old, and I became a citizen. I came here to this country on the 4th of July. I'm very patriotic, when I was 3 years old. And I'm very patriotic, and I went through the process of being a naturalized citizen, and I'm proud to be a U.S. citizen, and I'm now practicing as a U.S. citizen.
Mm-hmm. Just like my mother, she's naturalized also, and feels the same way you do about this.
And it gives them a democratic right to vote, and it's our constitutionally protected right as well.
Let's look at the voting process in general if we can for a second, Paul. Is there any way that we can consolidate even more elections? I mean, because sometimes it just seems like we're spending extra money for special elections and other things like that. Is there anything we can do to kind of combine more of them, like you want to do the presidential primary, to save more money?
Oh yeah, actually, to have less elections is better.
Right.
And any way to do that would be, I would support.
Yeah, is there a way to look at that in the future to try to do that?
We'd have to look at it on a case-by-case basis because there's a lot of special elections that come up, like for instance, the June 7th election that's coming up. That needs to stand alone, and of course, there's a special election for a congressional seat a week before that date, and so
that's
if they can
combine those two,
it'll be a lot better. Yes.
All right. Well, we'll look more at this because it seems like a great cost-saving measure. Assemblymember Paul Fong, thank you, and thank you at home for watching Time Warner Cable's local edition of the Sacramento Report. Don't forget, you can watch this interview and others by going to My Government on Demand, and you'll find that on Channel 1.